Hello everybody, Craig here. I'm driving in colorful Colorado up Guenella Pass, and it is officially aspen season. And by aspen season I mean that they're all colored yellow and orange right now, and I'm sure everywhere there's leaves changing, but here in Colorado our leaf changing is the aspen, and that's it. That's what we got for leaf changing, so we love it, and it's everywhere, and I'm sure that you can kind of see it in the background. I'll switch the camera around in a minute, kind of show you what I'm talking about. I'm sure you can see in the background we got some color going on. I'll flip the camera around. Actually, let me flip the camera around so you can see what's happening here. This is my situation. I'll just talk while I drive for a minute, and you don't want to look at me, you want to look at this. So we'll just do the camera this way. There we go. That's pretty good. Yeah, so we're in the car together. Thanks for joining me. Actually, it's kind of cool to not be on camera and just to be driving with you, and you can see what I'm doing, because things are about to get really awesome. I'm not on your average country road here. This is Guenella Pass, and as I said, it's the peak of aspen season. Well, let's say it's the peak. It's not the start. Look at the aspen, man. They're on fire. So they're gonna get more on fire as we go. One of the things that I love about aspen is the fact that they are a colony organism, meaning that when you see all these pine trees, each of those pine trees are an individual tree with individual roots. It's one tree. Maybe it's one tree with two trunks or whatever. That happens, 3 trunks. Okay, but aspen are, I don't know, you can Google it, I'm not sure. I don't know if it's the biggest. I don't think they're the biggest. I think it's a fungus. But aspen are one of the biggest organisms on the planet. And we think of redwoods as being these huge trees, and they are, but they're one single tree that's very large. The thing about aspen is that they are, it's a colony. It's maybe not a colony, it's one organism. Okay, they all share a root system like a fungus. So when you're looking at these aspen, they're not individual. I mean, some of them are individual trees just getting started, but eventually their roots are going to reach out, and now that same organism pops up 47 trees here and 47 trees there, and pretty soon you have these amazingly large, acres and acres of one organism. So what I love to do, especially at this time when it's this yellow and this proficient and this beautiful of a day, it's a little overcast, but what we're going to do is we're going to go stand in an organism. When was the last time that you were in an organism? Think about that. Ever? Maybe in your mother? You could say you were in a forest. That's in a bunch of organisms. But when you go into an aspen grove, like I said, it's one big organism. It's all the same. It's not interdependent organisms. Yeah, that happens. That's a forest, right? That's ecology. This is one organism that is massive, like on the size that you can't even comprehend, like acres and acres of one organism. So we're going to go stand in the organism, not just on the organism. In the organism, we're going to be in the whole huge cluster of this color, just non-stop 360. It's going to be crazy. Let's see if I can stay live recording the whole thing. Might be a long video, but you can get the idea of where I'm going. We have a beautiful stream. The thing about these mountain roads is they follow streams, right? Because that's where the valley is. So in Colorado, most of these mountain roads like this have a stream next to them that is fed by the snow melt that is above us. So we're going to, I said we're on Guenella Pass. So what does that mean, a pass? Pass is like the highest point where a road goes over the saddle of a mountain. It's the peak as the road goes over, right? So this is a thing that I like to do is go on these passes, because you get to go up and over some amazing terrain and see some crazy stuff. So yeah, this is Guenella Pass, and it used to be a kind of a dirt road when I got out here. Now it's got these fancy fences and signs and reflectors, and it's a real road. It used to just be a dirt road. Well, I guess every road used to be a dirt road, right? Kind of an interesting thought. But yeah, we're getting into the thick aspen here, so this is getting pretty amazing. I like the white bark. I remember being fascinated by white bark when I was a kid up in Wisconsin or Minnesota, when we used to go to 10,000 Lakes, and I would always come home with a pile of birch bark, because I thought it was the coolest thing that you could peel paper, white paper, off of a tree. Seems obvious. Paper comes from trees, but yeah, like, I don't know, there's something really cool about white bark that kind of peels off. It's like mica. I love mica. Mica, like the mineral that flakes off. It's very flat and like crystally. I always loved peeling the mica, just like I loved peeling the paper on a birch tree. You can see there's a little bit of traffic up here. Not crazy traffic. I wouldn't call it traffic, but sometimes you can come up here and never see a soul. Right now, you know, today is the first day of the madness of, I call it madness. It is kind of like a madness of a season. These people, you know, everybody wants to come up and see the stuff. So you'll see as I go, these little parking lots and whatnot, you know, people overflow those parking lots. Today's kind of the start of that. Now we're getting into some color, man. Check this out. Getting into some oranges. So let me talk a little bit about myself if you want to listen. I got some things going on. We all got some things going on. I'm going to share mine in a nutshell. I am going through what I'm calling the Great Simplification of Craig Renz. The Great Simplification of Craig Renz. It might be a book. We'll see. But what I mean by the Great Simplification is that I've been down a lot of roads, as we all have, and things have gotten complicated over time. And they got complicated to the point where I was on my deathbed. I'll just cut to the chase. I almost died. Heart failure, lung failure, 540 pounds. And it took me 3 months to get out of the hospital. It took me 3 months to get home and start being able to do the simplest of exercises. I was in my bed for a long time doing nothing. I was in my bed at a long time doing nothing, getting into that place. Maybe not doing nothing, but inactive, eating too much, not taking care of myself, stretched too thin, being an entrepreneur, being a dad. It all added up too much. I snapped, turned into a hospital visit. That was 3 years ago. In those 3 years, I have cut my body weight in half. Half. Let me tell you that again. I cut my body weight in half. I was 540 pounds. I'm now 270 pounds. That's half. Think about that. I'm not bragging. I'm just saying, holy shit, half your body weight? So, as a consequence of that, a good consequence, I have gone from a situation where I was taking 14 different medications, shots, pills, this, that. Some of them were to take care of the side effects of others. So now we're stacking medications. Since then, I've gone from 14 to 0 medications. My blood work is completely clean. I'm throwing rocks, I'm hauling logs, I'm hiking miles and miles a day. Look at this spot. This is the spot. Everybody's here. This is definitely the spot. But this isn't the top. This isn't my spot. My spot is the top, but this is amazing. Look at all these people enjoying this. Yeah, so back from the dead, and you know, it's given me some clarity that I don't know, I've just been blessed with some clarity, we'll put it that way. I feel like to be honest, I feel like I've been on this ayahuasca trip, as people explain it, where you see visions of things that you didn't see before, and you come away with a perspective that you didn't have. And I know that can happen in a lot of ways. That can happen in a lot of big ways and small ways. For me, it's been this back from the dead shit. It's flipped some switches for me. And one of those switches is happening, kind of right now, in a very interesting way that involves a lot of synergy and synchronicity with people that I know, people that I've worked with, coming around to a new way of having a relationship with them that I had no intention of. Things have turned around, and I have made a big switch in my life in terms of what I'm doing and how I identify myself, who I am. What's on my business card has changed. What's on my profile has changed dramatically in the last 24 hours, in a very big and real and fast and really amazing way. Sometimes when you lose something, you cry, and I was sad I lost something this week that I was very attached to, that I've worked very hard on, that I've been very dedicated to, that I've poured my soul into, blood, sweat, and tears, that hasn't paid off. And that's the risk you take as an entrepreneur, is you build something hoping that it's going to pay off. And it's, and when it doesn't, it's like a baby. You gotta, maybe it's not like a baby. It's not the example. You gotta let it go sometimes. If it's not working out, you're not gonna let your baby go. But I let a business go this week, and simultaneously, no gap, zero wait time of what's gonna happen. Literally within minutes, another door opened. And that would be one thing, okay? That's amazing. One door shuts, one door opens at the same time. What blows my mind is that now that this second door opens, the first door kind of works. Like it kind of refreshed the first door. So I didn't really like cut something off and jump into something else. I grouped both, right? I one thing that I focus on, and this might sound like weird mojo, but the difference between the word or and the word both. So if I choose this or this, I have to make a decision, and sometimes that's the reality. You have to make a decision. You need this or this. But what if you could say and or both? Instead of or, you could say and. I want this and that. I want my health, and I want to be a successful entrepreneur, and I want to have good relationships. Okay, what I was doing is I was saying it's either my health or my relationships or my business, my health, my wealth. It's one or the other, and I'm just gonna barrel down on my wealth until that's taken care of, and then I'll get to a place where I can finally take care of my health and sit in a hot tub and get a foot bath and a manicure, because now I'm rich. Well, you know what? That's not the way it works, people. You have a three-legged stool. You have a health, your wealth, and your relationships. And the stool is you. So if your health is out of balance, not paying attention to your health, to pay attention to your business, you're probably neglecting relationships because you're so focused on your business. Now your stool is unsteady. You got a wobbly stool because your legs aren't even. You can't sit on it. It's not comfortable. It's not stable. You're constantly juggling it. It's giving you anxiety. You want to stand on that stool and be safe and steady and strong, right? And tall. But you try to stand on that stool and those legs aren't even. Come on. Right? So, I've found that health, wealth, and relationships all need to be a balance. And they all need to be sort of equal parts of your day in terms of time blocking, right? Would you say that you spend a third of your day on your health? It doesn't have to be a whole third of the day in the gym. Okay, it could be an hour here, 20 minutes there, 15 minutes there, a little check-in, a little step-up walk, a little drink of water. That's your health, okay? That all adds up. But is that a third of your day? Your wealth, is that a third of your day? You know, most people are, comfortable with the concept of an 8-hour work day, 5 days a week. That's the average, right? I mean, entrepreneurs, we know that's a crazy, laughable thing. But that's the concept of the standard, right? That's a third of your day, right? 8 hours. Whenever you're working 8 hours a day. Is that realistic for you? I mean, are you working 14 hours a day? 16 hours? I mean, I've worked 20 hours a day. Oh, who are we kidding? I've worked 36 hours a day before. Is that healthy? How's that affect your health? You know, you're doing it for your wealth, but how's that affect your health? Holy shit, you're off for 3 days. You didn't eat, now you're puking, now you got the shits because you didn't eat right. You didn't take your medicine for a couple days because you were working so hard. Come on, man. What's that do to your health? You didn't sleep? What's that do to your blood pressure, to your anxiety, to your mindset, to your ability to show up to your business, right? Because your health is struggling. Now, what's your wife think of that? I don't have a wife. What's your kids think of that if you're buried and you're not sleeping and you're eating like shit and you're anxious and you're pissed? It all stacks up, right? So what I'm saying is the balance. It's not about time blocking exactly 8 hours a day or doing it exactly my way or this way or that way or, finding some shit on YouTube about how to prioritize your day. The idea is have your stool, balance it so you can stand on it and it works for you, because so many times we're not paying attention to the legs in an equal way and we have fucked up stools. So for me, I started talking about the great simplification, right? The great simplification for me is focusing on those 3 stools, and if it does not support one of those 3 legs, I am not interested. If it doesn't make me more healthy, I'm not interested. If it doesn't grow my influence and my business and my pocket, I'm not interested. Maybe that's a strong statement. That's kind of a weird thing to say. Maybe that's something I need to consider. But, my wealth is, I've defined my wealth pursuit as helping people. If I can help as many people as I can, I will get what I want. I will be okay if I help as many people as I can, as well as I can. That's what I'm standing on in my financial pursuits, is first helping people, giving people what they want so that I get what I want, right? So maybe that is true, that if it's not in line with me becoming what I want to be as an entrepreneur, in terms of the abstracts, the who am I, the giving, the creating, and if it doesn't help my family financially, then I'm probably not interested in it from a business perspective. It doesn't mean that I'm not interested in it if it's not making me money. That's a strange thing to say, but I wanted to clarify that because it felt weird when I said it. It's a very important distinction. So the third is, relationships. It has to be simple. Like, I have a very simple, strong, powerful inner circle. I have very strong, simple relationships with the people that I live with my family, with my dogs. Like, it's simple, it's strong. It's something that I pay attention to every day. It's something that I give to people every day. I have a list of people that I give to every day or every week. Some people are every week, some people are every month, some people are every quarter, every year, whatever. It's not like you make this list or that list. It's just, you have an inner circle, an outer circle, and a more outer circle. And I pay a lot of attention and give a lot of energy to my people in the inner circle, And that's a weird concept to say your inner circle, maybe, because you're excluding people. I'm a very inclusive person. I'll talk to anyone. But in terms of the people that have an effect on your life, your team, your cheerleading squad, the people that you call when you have a problem, that's your inner circle. The people that help you, the people that are there for you at 2 a.m, that's your inner circle, right? And that has to be strong. And I have one right now. And I've worked very hard to build it. And the way that I've built it is by giving. I give to them. Same way with the wealth. I give and then I receive. And it happens in symbiotic nature. But if you're only trying to receive, the giving will never, you're not a giver, you're not going to receive. You're not receive well, you're not going to be able to give. That's an interaction. That's a whole thing I could talk about. Maybe we should go down that road. So yeah, we talked about the great simplification and the 3 legs of the stool that I'm trying to very, clearly pay attention to, each of them equally and give them equal time in my day. Let's talk about giving and receiving. It's an interesting concept. It's very simple, but it's very complex. You could spend a lifetime talking about this one topic, and that might be my topic for my lifetime: giving and receiving. I've had different times in my life where I've given more to a relationship and not received back. It's very uncomfortable. I've had times where I've received more from a relationship and not given, and then I'm the person that didn't, do what I needed to do in the relationship. Let me change the scale up here. Let me play with the scale here. Give me a second. That's too much. That's too little. That's just right. Let's stick there. All right. Yeah, giving and receiving. That seems kind of obvious, but think about it on a natural level. Giving and receiving. It's like us as physical creatures breathe in oxygen. Every time we breathe, we're doing it. Our body is doing it to gather more oxygen to filter through our lungs. It processes in our body, and then we exhale very quickly, and we are exhaling carbon dioxide. Okay, it happens every second in our body, giving and receiving. We're receiving oxygen, we're giving CO2. That's one part of it. Now we have enter trees, right? Trees do the opposite. Trees breathe in CO2 and they exhale oxygen. So all the time, every single tree is giving and receiving at all times. It's receiving CO2. It's giving oxygen. I'm going to turn this camera real quick and show you something. I don't know if you can see what we're doing here. It's kind of crazy. I'll give you a little context in a minute. We're almost to the top. So on a natural level, it happens. So even the interaction between the soil and the trees are receiving nutrients, and the trees are dying and dropping branches and leaves, which are giving nutrients back to the soil. There's a cycle. There's a very clear giving and receiving. Just like when we breathe, there's a giving and receiving. Just like when you feed your dog, you're giving that dog food, and that dog in turn is alive and is giving you joy and companionship and love, right? Just like a relationship is a give and a receive. Just like a job is a give and a receive. Just like a business relationship is a give and a receive. There's a number of examples of that, endless examples of that. A bird on a cow. The cow stinks. It attracts bugs, so it's giving the bird a place to attract bugs. That cow doesn't like the bugs biting it, so the bird is eating the bugs off of the cow. Symbiosis, nature, right? Fungus, mushrooms eat decaying matter, giving and receiving nutrients to the soil. I mean, come on, how far do I need to go with this giving and receiving thing, right? So where I'm going with this is the reason that I'm coming up to this pass right now, talking about the great simplification of Craig Renz, is that I'm about to make this epic journey of stepping into this new role in life. And I'm coming up to the top of this motherfucking mountain to get some clarity and some peace. I have the clarity, I just need to take it in a little bit. So I'm gonna go up here with my dog and this other dog. This is a beautiful dog. And find a quiet spot and breathe. Just breathe. We're just gonna breathe. That's all I'm gonna do. I'm not gonna think. I'm not gonna solve a problem. I'm not gonna contemplate world peace or what's next or can I handle it or do I have what it takes. I'm just going to breathe. I'm just gonna give CO2 and I'm gonna receive oxygen. You can see where I'm parking. I'm about to get out and give you a 360 and take you on a walk. I'm gonna go widescreen here for just 1 minute so you can kind of take that in while I'm getting out of the car. Give me a second. This is the parking lot. Gotta grab something real quick. Just a second, and then we're gonna take a pretty amazing walk.
Jesus, diaper change.
So this is the top of Guenella Pass. And the reason I came up here today is that this was one of the first places that my aunt took me when I was starting to walk. I'll give you a quick 360. She took me here when I was learning to walk again. I literally had to learn how to walk. I was so fat that I couldn't walk. Chew on that. I couldn't walk to the bathroom. I couldn't wipe my own ass. I couldn't pick up my dog shit. Oh, I'm good. I'm good. Hello. I was at a place where I couldn't walk. I was in the hospital for 3 months in a bed with hoses. You know, I took little walks around the hospital floor when I could, but it was a slow process. So when I built up to being able to get out of the house and sit in a car, that was a challenge, right? That was the whole thing. Can I get into a car? Think about that. So getting up here was monumental. Just the ride part was monumental. And then we're in the parking lot. Okay, can I walk to the sign? Let's try it. Yeah, let's go a little further. We're gonna take a break because we just walked 20 yards. That's the last time I was up here, man. A year ago, 2 years ago, maybe, I don't know. I got the pictures. But I remember on this trail, taking little chunks of it. Little chunks, eating an elephant, one bite at a time. If I can get there and take a break, that's cool. If I can get to that rock, I'll take a break. If I can get to that corner, I'll take a break. But I'm gonna do it. And I did it. Now these people are running up it. Young kids. But yeah, that's where I was last time I was up on this hill. And now I'm up on this hill. And I got this major life change in front of me. And I did it. Give me a 360. How about that 360? Now we're on top. Now we're on top. We did it. I'm gonna tell you what I did. In the last 90 days, I've gotten off all of my medications. In the last 90 days, I have lost 30 pounds. In the last 90 days, I have become a coach. Come on. Where are things 90 days from now for me? Where are things 90 days from now for you? What's your 90-day plan? What does it look like? What are you going to be in 90 days? The same? Or worse? Or fatter? Or healthier? Is your business going to be better or weaker? Are your relationships going to be in the pot, or are they going to be better? Are you going to be, sleeping well? Are you going to be eating well? Are you going to be moving well in 90 days? It's up to you. My advice is figure it out, define your vision, make a strategy, and align your habits. Vision, strategy, habits, in that order. Know what you want. How are you going to get there? And what does it take every day to do it? That's it. Thank you for joining me for my drive. I'm going to take my deep breaths in and out. I'm going to give CO2. I'm going to receive oxygen. That's all I'm going to do for the next, little while up here. Give and receive. Very simple. Thanks for joining me. I love you. Love yourself.